Roll4Crit.com presents How to Play Star Wars Destiny in 5 parsecs or less or more. Star Wars Destiny is the collectible dice and card game that crosses the galaxy to bring you a 2-player battle of blasters, lightsabers, and force powers. Designed by Lucas Litzinger and Corey Konieczka and published by Fantasy Flight Games. In a normal game of Star Wars Destiny, each player comes prepared with a customized deck of 30 cards, along with a number of hero or villain characters, the appropriate dice, and 1 battlefield card. A starter set comes with a 20-card deck and different starting characters depending on which set you buy. In order to win, your goal is to defeat your opponent's characters by giving them damage tokens equal to their health level printed in the corner of the cards. Once all of a player's characters are eliminated, the game ends. But to start, each player shuffles their deck, receives 2 resource tokens, and places their characters face up with their respective dice on their respective cards. Draw a hand of 5 cards. If you don't like any of your cards, you're free to shuffle as many as you want back into the deck, then draw up to 5 again. You can only do this once. Then you'll each need to roll those character dice. Whoever has the higher number result gets to choose which battlefield goes into play, each player having provided 1 at the start of the match. If the player chooses their own battleground, they get to go first. Whoever is not in control of the active battleground goes second and gets 2 shield tokens to place on their characters as they see fit. On your turn, you get to perform 1 single action before throwing it back to your opponent, and so on. Your choices of actions are as follows. Play a card. Use a card from your hand by paying the cost printed in the upper left corner in resource tokens. Events are one-time use effects that get discarded immediately, upgrades are attached to existing characters, and supports are standalone cards that remain in play. There's no limit to the amount of support cards you can have in play, but a character can only hold 3 upgrades at one time. To add a 4th, you'll need to discard an old one of your choice, paying only the difference in resource costs between the 2 cards. Also remember that unique cards with this symbol next to their name can only have 1 copy of themselves in play at any given time. Activate. You can activate a character or a support card by exhausting said card, then rolling all of its dice. If your character has upgrade cards that come with extra dice, as many of them do, then when activating that character you roll all of the upgrade dice as well. Rolled dice are removed from the character card and are placed in what is now known as your active dice pool. Activating doesn't allow you to use any of your dice yet. That's a separate action. Resolve. Choose any of your dice that have the same symbol showing and resolve their effects one at a time. For example, if you have 1 melee damage symbol, you can use it to attack once for your action. But if you have 2 melee damage symbols, you can use both of them on the same turn because they're the same. Here's a quick rundown of what all the dice symbols mean. Melee damage inflicts the indicated number of damage tokens onto a target character. Ranged damage does the exact same thing as melee damage. Shield. Add shield tokens to any character you like. Each shield token a character holds blocks 1 point of damage on a future attack, but they cannot hold more than 3 shields at one time. Shield tokens are discarded after taking a point of damage. Resource. Take a number of resource tokens from the supply. Disrupt. Force your opponent to discard a number of resource tokens. Discard. Your opponent must randomly discard a number of cards from their hand. Focus. Turn a die or dice that you have already rolled to a different side of your choosing. Special. Some cards have special abilities that correspond to this symbol, which take effect when you resolve it. And blank. It does nothing. Sorry. If a die face has a resource cost on it, then you must pay that amount in order to resolve it on your turn. If it has a plus sign in front of its number, then it must be resolved in conjunction with another die showing the same symbol without a plus sign. Plus sign faces can never be resolved without the help of a non-plus sign face. Another action you can do on your turn is to discard a card from your hand, allowing you to re-roll as many dice as you want from your active dice pool. And of course, you can use any actions that are printed on cards in play, usually marked helpfully by the word action. Finally, you can claim the battlefield. If you do so, you get to carry out the ability printed on the battlefield card, and you guarantee that you'll go first during the next round. However, you can take no more actions for the rest of this round. You'll have to wait for your opponent to pass. At any time, either player can pass without claiming the battlefield as well, which means they could take another action on their next turn. If both players pass in a row, the round ends. When the round ends, rotate your exhausted cards, reset any dice you still have in the field, gain 2 new resources, discard any cards you don't want, and draw back up to 5 again. Then you're ready to go. If ever a player has 0 cards in their hand and deck, they automatically lose. When one character dies, it is removed from the game along with its dice. When all of a player's characters die, they lose and the game ends. In conclusion, draw, roll, attack, defend, customize, start down the dark path, and forever let it dominate your destiny. That's Star Wars Destiny in a nutshell. Did you get all that?